Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Manjari and today I'm going to be showing you what's on my iPad. I'm a college student at the University of California at Davis and I'm just going to be showing you what apps I found useful. This device has easily become my most used thing ever as a student and it's made a lot of things a lot easier in terms of how I learn and how I operate in school, so let's get right into it. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up so this can go to other people who need it. So you're first looking at my screen. I'm going to go through the basic apps very quickly and then the apps that are useful to me a lot more slowly and in depth. So first here we have the Mail app, and if you think this is a lot of mail, my phone has like 60,000 because I get a ton of junk mail. I'm trying to get rid of it, reduce clutter, but clearly it's a slow process. But yeah, just my mail comes in. I have my school mail synced and my personal email, so any important emails I get my hands on very quickly. We also have the FaceTime app on here, an app I use sometimes, but not a major player for me. Next we have the Calendar app. Unfortunately, if you try and sync it on to Apple Maps from, for example, Google Maps, there's no way to color coordinate. The color coordination is based on what email the events came from, so it's not really useful. So I just turned the sync off because I was just getting way too many notifications. It would notify me on my phone, my laptop, and here through this app, plus the Google Calendar app, so it was just too much for me. Next we have the Clock app. Again, not another app I use very often because I do the alarm app on my phone for my alarms, but you know, just a standard app. This is a little fancier than what I'm used to on my phone, but it's cute, and if I have a use for it, maybe sometime in the future I might use it. Next up here we got the Apple Home app. I'll show you. There's really nothing to see here because I don't really have any of the Apple Home devices, so I'm just gonna skip over that. Next I have the Photos app, which I will show you. You can see my screen recordings, some of the thumbnails I've taken because I've been trying to use Procreate to edit on here. And so I have that. That was just one of my older thumbnails. Some notes I have that are useful. There's one random ass selfie that I was trying to take to see about the camera quality and it looked kind of goofy. And then we have the Camera app. Double vision. I'm just kidding, I'm stopping. That was not cute. The camera, like I've mentioned, the selfie camera, nothing to really brag about or talk about, so I won't. The front-facing camera, in case you can't tell, is actually relatively cute in my opinion. I think it's good quality, but anyways, not a major player for me. We got the Reminders app. I have to fix this to make it more useful for me, which unfortunately I haven't. This is like very outdated reminders from my iPhone from when I had an iPhone 5S, which was when I was in 10th grade. Keep in mind I'm now a second-year college student, so age 16 versus age 20, so I definitely need to fix that. But for now, this is just the system. Never use this app on my iPad. I used to use it on my phone, but not anymore. The Notes app is one of my favorite apps. So I got a lot of stuff going on here. Yeah, this is like YouTube videos I want to come back and watch. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of iPad video sort of research. Some video ideas I just, I write down because it's like ideas I want to go into, but I always like to plan and outline my videos. That gives me a good idea if the video idea is going to be something that'll work well, that I can create well or not. And yeah, just a lot of video ideas, some YouTube channels I want to check out. This was me planning my previous videos. This was just, I made a whole transcript of stuff I wanted to check out, and that just helped my video, in my opinion, be more organized. Yeah, I have tons of notes in here and I really like that I can write stuff down, and I think this is better than having to use like Notability or something for like quick stuff, not for anything related to like stuff that I don't really care to save but I want it there and I might come back to it, but it's easy to delete. It does sync between my laptop, phone, and iPad, which is also convenient. Next up here we have the Voice Memos app. I've never used it. If I need it, oh, I did use it. Oh, I used it to practice and hearing what my intonation and voice sounded like for a free past video. But again, don't really use it too much. We won't trash that. But it's just not an app I need right now. Maybe in the future. The next app I have on here is the Contacts app. I won't open it because you can see people's information. It's basically what it sounds like. There's not much to go in there. Same with the Maps app. It's not an app I use on here very much. Next we have the Find My iPhone app, which has been useful sometimes. Again, don't want to open it because then you can see my location, privacy issues, but it's been a really useful app. It can locate any of my Apple devices and I love that. This is just the App Store. There's really not much to see here, except like I've been saying, if there's any apps you think would be cool to download, please let me know. I got a hate comment on that video and it was like, do you want people to tell you apps to download? Well, download apps that you will use, and I'm like, Okay, thanks. It was such a silly comment. I just thought it was really funny, like, that somebody would comment something like that. Anyways, just let me know what kind of apps you think would be cool to download. I don't have too many, like, fun, quote-unquote, apps. It's more, it's like 90% educational, but I'm really down to try any apps, even paid ones, and review it, or, you know, you just think it's a cool app that might be useful for me, I might just use it for fun. And so that's just it for the App Store. There's not much for me to say here. iBooks app, and again, it's not really something I use, but good to know that there's free books that I could read. 10 first dates. Interesting. 1 rating and it was a 1 star. I wonder if there's like any information about the 1 star. No? Okay. That's interesting though, and it's really nice that there are free books, so maybe I'll read it in the future. It's currently my spring break, so this is definitely something I can try out. The next step here is the podcast app, and I wish I was more of a podcast person. I used to really be a podcast person, but then the person whose podcast I was into is kind of problematic right now, and I don't like supporting problematic people. I really don't. I know people make mistakes, but if you can't admit to a mistake, you know. Anyways, there's a lot of cool stuff here. I really like this French podcast one. There is a year free of Apple TV. However, there's not much you can watch with free Apple TV, unfortunately, so I'm kind of stuck with just what I have, which is Hulu. I accidentally opened that show, so that's why it's there, but I do watch Bones, but I'm just rewatching it. I watched it like 3 or 4 times. It's just something to stay in the background, so there's really not much there. This is the news app. Again, this is the first time I'm opening it, in case that's not apparent. I just get notifications from the news app on my laptop and my phone, and I'll occasionally check it on my phone, but really never on here, so that's really all I have to say about it. I have a subscription to the Wall Street Journal, because I have like a student discount, so I just read that. Like, I don't really read Apple News. I don't love it. Here we have the Stocks app. I'm not even gonna open it because I never use it. We have the Measure app. Again, don't even use it. Not gonna touch that. Settings. I mean, it's just basic settings. There's just Apple Care, which I'm planning to buy eventually. I'm gonna get to that. But yeah, there's a lot in settings. This is more obviously than my phone and laptop, because you can customize stuff with your Apple Pencil. You can customize your dock, which I really love. I mean, wallpaper has always been there. Next up here we have the Music app. Not really used it, but I bought Music a while ago. Let's see if it's there recently. Yes, I bought this like when I was a freshman in high school. I must have been like 14 or 15 and I bought it. I love, this is what made me fall in love with Sia, and it was really just fun when I didn't go to her concert, but that's not really relevant. But point is, I have Spotify now, so I don't really listen to music on here. Next we have Files. Yeah, this is just, there's really not much to say about the Files app. I just organized it for stuff that might need to be like saved on here. Oh, this is interesting. I have not looked at that. But yeah, I had to save a file of Biz 101, but that should not have gone there anyways. I actually want to delete this. Let's delete that. But like Biz 102, that's one of my classes I'm taking, just save stuff that I think would be nice to save there, because I don't need to annotate it. And then this is just stuff for Chem. There's really not much to see here. This is just how you could save your files on here. And we're on to the second page. Here I have the Photo Booth app. Not my most well-used app, but it's cool. It's exactly like the one on my Mac, but as you can see, I've taken a couple random ass pictures. I have eczema, so I was trying to take that picture there. And you can see I was not very successful. I'm so sorry. My skin is horrible. Why do I have to... No, never mind. I'm not going to apologize for my skin. It is what it is. This is an interesting picture. We're just going to move on. This is the Shortcuts app. I've talked about the Shortcuts app a couple of times. It's just an app where you can make things easier for you, but I have not gone around to making use of it, and I really, really, really need to. It's an app that I could really just take advantage of, and it could save me a lot in productivity, and I'm not there yet. I don't know why. I want to be there yet. I'm just not. So if you have any suggestions for how to use the Shortcuts app, let me know. This is the, I just put all this together. I'm highly debating deleting some of these apps. First of all, the Apple Store. I don't regularly buy Apple devices. Like, I'm not buying Apple devices every other month, so there's really no need for me to have the Apple Store app. And this is interesting because this has not been on any of my previous Apple devices. Then again, the last Apple device I bought was my iPhone. It's been a good 3 years since I bought any sort of Apple device. So this is just like free self-promotion for them, so I don't really care for that app. I don't really understand why they need a separate App Store and iTunes Store, so not really understanding that. The Clips app is where you can edit clips. I mean, it's a little self-explanatory. I'm more of a fan of iMovie, so I edit on my laptop, but I am debating using the iMovie app that's in the corner over there to edit on here. The Tips app is an interesting app. I want to go through all of them soon because I've had the device for long enough that I don't have an excuse. But it's just ways to use your iPad, especially if you've never used an iPad like myself, and it's just telling you like XYZ of the basics around the iPad. I don't really use GarageBand to record any voiceovers or anything. If that's something people do, I don't really know too much about GarageBand, but if you use it for voiceovers, let me know, because that would be a cool way to do it. I just do it directly in iMovie right now because it's been the easiest and the audio quality isn't too terrible. Here I have this little section, and this is like Office, Microsoft Office, except it's like the Apple brand. I never use it. It's probably a great tool, but it's just, again, not something that I use. I just talked about the iMovie app. I haven't yet to use this. I definitely want to try and see how my experience is editing an entire video on here. What's really annoying though is there's no SD card slot on here, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. Here I have my entertainment app. YouTube, as you can see, is one of my most used apps. I'm getting right back into YouTube and watching I discovered some new YouTubers in a new genre of like comedy where they make fun of other YouTubers, but they actually manage to be really funny and weirdly respectful, and I just really like that. And I've just gotten into that. And then we have the Hulu app, which I used to use, but I don't know what shows to watch, so hit me up in that department. Then the Spotify app. I mean, I don't want to show y'all my terrible music. Y'all don't need to see my terrible music taste, so we'll move on. Netflix, I forgot the password, so just the app's there. I'm not logged in on there, but I wish I remembered the password. This is my little language learning section. Duolingo is free, and some parts of Rosetta Stone are free, so that's what I mainly use if I was more consistent, which I'm not, but I enjoy the apps. I'm debating paying for Rosetta Stone because I am a huge fan of language learning. And then here we have the productivity section. Okay, so honestly speaking, the most used app is Google Calendar. I freaking love Google Calendar. I would make a whole ass video on that. Just Google Calendar is a queen. Just look at how I organize my days. It's just the most beautiful thing for me, just blocking off time. Helps me not forget anything. It's neat. It's just easy to add like events in the corner. You can add a task, reminder, goal. It's just the easiest app, and it's really just such a gateway for productivity for me. I use the Google Docs app sometimes. Just occasionally if I am studying for an exam or I have an open notes exam and I want to look up something in Google Docs, I'll just import it onto there, especially if there's like a shared file that people have worked on for a study guide. I'll just make a copy and then just keep it in Google Docs and use that. Notion is just not an app I use a lot, but I've been trying to use. It looks like a really good way for innovation. And then is Notability. I love this. I just made my spring calendar. I really do enjoy this app so far. I really love the feature of, being able to go anywhere in your damn recorded lecture. Last couple of apps. We got the Headspace app, which is just a meditation app. I don't really use it on here, but I did download it just in case that was something I wanted to do. Then we have the Zoom app. Then we got the Discord app, which is how I communicate with most of my classmates. Then I have the Amazon app, which is probably a mistake because it helps me buy things really easily, but it's a good way for me to track packages and things I need. And then we got the Procreate app. If you cannot tell, I am just trying. I'm discovering what might be cool for thumbnails, and I'm just exploring. So this was an app given by a fellow YouTuber who's very talented and has beautiful thumbnails, and I was like, it might be cool to experiment a little. So I was just experimenting a little with like, what might look cool in a thumbnail, what might be fun, and it was just fun to, kind of go back to my soul of being an artist. I used to be an artist for a really long time, and I kind of let that go, and this was just a different way to get involved in art, and I really like that. The bottom bar is pretty much my most used app. So I have the iMessage app, then I have Safari, which, before you make fun of me for using it instead of Chrome, it just takes up way less space than Chrome, and Chrome has like a lot of privacy issues. Then we have the Canvas app, which, again, an interesting app. I talked about this in my previous video about like using the app and whatnot. This is the platform my school uses for organizing like class materials and accessing class materials and uploading stuff. So that's why it's there. This is my other note-taking app, and this is my vet school stuff. We're gonna go away from that. But yeah, this is just where I kept my notes when I was, taking notes on my Surface Pro. And it was just really nice because this app is free. Like, I'm gonna make a whole video about this because this is a really, really good note-taking app that I highly recommend for 99% of people, because I think it'll do it for most people. So that is it for what's on my iPad. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if this helped you, or if you want to subscribe, that would also be fantastic. Other than that, you can contact me via Instagram. Don't forget to check out my podcast, and that's it. Have a great day, everyone. Bye!